Hello team, so today I'm going to go through a video on why we program workouts the way we do. One of the main things that we experience when people join the collective and come onto our programming and our workouts is they're like, whoa, where's my chest on a Monday and where's my arms on a Friday and etc. So I wanted to go a bit of a video and explain the context behind why we do this, and ultimately if you're part of the small minority and you think I miss my chest on a Monday, hopefully by the end of this video I should have brought you around to our way of thinking and our perspective. And to start off, I'm going to tell you a bit of a story that's also going to lay the foundations for that. So when I was young, I had all these dreams of owning fancy cars and big houses, as you do. So from a pretty early age, when I got a job and I did a paper round, it was a pretty miserable paper round. It wasn't easy like you see in the films where they just launch the paper into the garden. I had to go and put it into the letterbox, and it was hard to slug this big bag around. And I did 12 hours of this per week. I got roughly about £50 per month, but when you broke it down, I did 12 hours per week. That's roughly £12 per week as well. So I got £1 for every hour worked. Now, after a short period of time, I realised that this isn't going to work. I'm not going to be able to afford a Lamborghini anytime soon. And then I went and got a job at Go-Kart Track. My friend worked there, he got me the job, and he said, it's easy work, we get paid £5 per hour. Went there, it was very easy work, and I did get £5 per hour. The job, it didn't entail too much. I spent most of my day sat on my bum to push the go-karts out when they crashed and then sit back down and wait for that to happen again. So I've gone from £1 per hour, really hard work, to £5 per hour and really easy work. So in this instance, we'll look at the money received as results. And we'll look at how hard the job was as the effort we put into within a workout. So what I learned from this whole experience is that actually 1 hour of my time can be better spent to get better results. In this instance, I got more money. In the gym, I could get better results from my training if I just shifted my training a little bit. And then furthermore to that, and especially in this instance, the epiphany is, and where the penny drops, is that actually I can even spend an hour of my time, enjoy it more and work less hard and work smarter and still get better results. And this is where I'm going to start to lay the foundations to the story of how we program. If I'm bringing this back to the gym, one of the main things for us is that we understand that the people we serve are just normal people. We don't serve athletes, we don't serve bodybuilders, we serve John and Mary who have got families, normal jobs, kids, etc., normal real life problems. So then when we look at how we want to program a workout, we need to take into account that they are giving an hour of their day roughly 4 or 5 times per week. That's an hour taken away from family, kids, work, earning more money, spending time with loved ones, so on and so forth. So if I'm going to have that person spend an hour, I'm not going to give them job 1. I'm going to give them job 2, where they yield the most results possible from that time period and do it in an efficient enough way where they are not exhausted for the rest of their day. And ultimately they're getting something from that experience and they're getting the most bang for their buck in the 60 minutes spent in the gym. So when we look, and before I go any further, one of the main things that I always say and I've always said, movement is better than no movement. As humans, activity should be a part of our daily lives. We now know it serves our mental health, our physical health, and everything else in between. So when I'm saying this, I'm not saying it's either do it my way or not at all. It's just I want to give you the best opportunity to have the best experience in that hour spent in the gym. So when you look at the conventional way of training, or the most generic way of training as you see at the moment, when you got your HIIT workouts, your Les Mills workouts, where you do body combat, where you just go and do chest on a Monday and a back on a Tuesday and so on and so forth. None of these are wrong, but they generally only ever serve 2 main purposes. Number 1 is to burn as many calories as possible, which is fine. We all need to get in a calorie deficit if we're trying to lose weight. And number 2 is to damage the muscle. We do those 2 things so that we can tone, build muscle, whatever you want to call it, and expend enough energy that we don't put on weight or we lose weight. When we build our workouts, we come at it from a more broader perspective and we have a different intent in mind. We want to do those 2 things, burn enough calories and damage the muscle so that we grow and build new muscle. We want to do a couple of other things as well. We want to damage the muscle as many times per week as possible. When we look at training, we actually realize that we can, if we hit chest on a Monday at 5 p.m, we can then hit chest on a Wednesday at 5 p.m. again. So time best spent is not best by only doing chest once per week. It's best spent by doing it several times per week and eliciting 3 times as much response as if I was just going to do it on a Monday. We also want the workouts to be as efficient as possible. You'll notice that we pair exercises together, even 3 or 4 exercises together at a time. The reason we do this is that if I can work chest at one point and back at one point, I don't need to rest because I'm resting my chest while I'm working my back. And all of a sudden, an hour and a half and an hour and a 15-minute workout now becomes 45 minutes. And that's an extra half an hour I can give to someone to spend with their loved ones. We also want people to enjoy their workouts. We build the workouts in a selective way where all of a sudden their mindset changes. They're not going to the gym to punish themselves for an hour. They're going to football practice on a Saturday morning. They're going to the park to play basketball with their friends. They're going for a run. All of a sudden we have changed the gym from this thing that it becomes this monotonous, painful process that we inflict upon ourselves. And now it's this self-love process, like going and training for that sport that you love. Instead, we are just training for life, and the effects of the gym will spill over into other areas of our life. We also want to make it competitive. One of the main reasons people go to classes is because they enjoy that social experience, but they also enjoy the competitive nature of it, whether they like to admit it or not. And there is going to be a select group of people who don't enjoy competitiveness, but on a very, very small level, we all like it in some way or another. So that's why we build these finishers and doing things with a scored element to them so that you can compare with your friends and get a little bit of competitive. And all of a sudden, you've got that external motivation rather than just doing it for the sake of it. You've now got different elements that is encouraging you to go on this process. The next is performance. The chest on a Monday, back on a Tuesday, calorie burn world very much comes from I need to look better aesthetically. The problem is with this, it's very subjective. Me looking at myself in the mirror on a Monday versus on a Friday, I may look better on the Friday, I'm going to be dehydrated, but I'm having a different head state, so I think I look worse. But when we make people look at things from a performance standpoint, this is very objective. It's black and white. If I'm getting better on the row machine, I'm getting better on the row machine. I cannot argue with that data. I cannot argue with how much I'm squatting more compared to last week or last month or last year. Whereas you can always argue with yourself mentally in the mirror, and that you may be getting better, but you may not realize it yourself. So all of a sudden, we've moved people's headspace away onto this performance style of training, which ultimately stops them from falling off the bandwagon in the long term because they can see the results and they are enjoying the results. And then there's doing it in a community. We build our workouts so they are optimal for doing in groups and doing together, because then exercise becomes more than just this solo journey. I'm doing it with people, I'm making friends, I'm meeting friends, I'm taking current friends, and we're doing it with competitive and we're focusing on our performance. And you can kind of see where this healthy competitiveness, performance style training starts to kind of facilitate itself. And then to top all that off, when we design a workout, we are not just doing chest on a Monday, then we're going to do a HIIT class in and a bit of a body combat there, and then we're going to go for a run. We design a workout so that when we do a Monday, it fits into that 7-day week. And that 7-day week then fits into a 4-week phase that has a specific focus. That 4 weeks fits into one of our 13-week programs. And as you can see, 13 weeks is a quarter of a year. So that fits into the bigger year programs. Every single one workout we do fits into a whole year's worth of programs that is carefully thought out. So you can know you can have the confidence from that. So in summary, when we bring you onto our program and we train you the way we train you, it's not because we want to do this functional stuff and blah, blah, blah. It's carefully thought out. And ultimately, as I went through that experience where I went from job 1 to job 2, I started to yield way better results from job 2, and I enjoyed it a hell of a lot more. And because I was smarter in how I worked, I didn't have to put so much effort into it. And then ultimately the enjoyment masked any real effort I had to exert anyway. So ultimately what we are trying to do when we bring you into this way of training, we're trying to move you away from this aesthetic focused chest on a Monday way of training from job 1, and we're trying to bring you over to job 2, where you yield more results, you enjoy it a hell of a lot more, and you're more efficient in your approach. I hope that makes sense. Have an amazing day.